The Floor Academy podcast is sponsored by Trelama, the trade labor marketplace, where businesses can find skilled trade labor, such as flooring installers, and where flooring installers and other skilled tradespeople can find permanent or project work. You can set up your profile at trelama.com, TRALAMA.com, or download the app from the Apple App Store or Google Play. And remember, Trelama is always free for skilled tradespeople. Welcome to the Floor Academy podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Hadeen, owner of Illustrious Hardwoods in Phoenix, Arizona. We're here to talk with flooring professionals from all across the country about the issues that matter to you. I want to encourage you to learn while you earn. This week's guest is Seth Folkerson. Seth owns SNF Floors in Plant City, Florida. Not being super interested in school, Seth dropped out and got his GED while learning different trades. He finally settled into flooring with his now father-in-law before moving on to a second company to receive more training. Now, out on his own and trying to build a brand, the employee problem has shown up. Seth and I spend our time focusing on what we would like apprentices to know and what we think owners and lead installers should be teaching them. Listen in with your apprentice and let us know what you would add or change. Seth Folkerson, are you on the line?
I'm here.
Awesome. Welcome to the Floor Academy podcast. Thank you for joining me.
Glad to be here.
All right, get that beer in. That's okay. I caught you mid-drink, didn't I?
Yes, sir.
That's all right. That's what this is all about, right? Two floor guys talking. We may not be in person, but we can still enjoy our beer. Man.
I'm glad here.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've talked, we've had our fun. But you reached out with an idea about apprentices, and if there's one thing I'm passionate about, it's getting new people involved, and I think we're gonna have a great conversation. So let's start it off with the story of Seth so far. Who are you? What do you do? Where do you do it? How'd you get there? And why flooring of all things? Come on.
Yeah, I ask myself that question every day. So I'm Seth Folkerson. I grew up here in Tampa, Florida. I live in Plant City, Florida now. Went to school up until 8th grade, 9th grade. I kind of started dabbling in different trades. Sometimes I go to school, sometimes I go to work. Ended up dropping out, getting my GED, and deciding to go to school for marine mechanics. Dropped out of that as well semester in and decided to do floors. It's been 7 years now, and I'm still doing them, unfortunately. I was a apprentice for right about 2.5 years under two different guys, my father-in-law and then guy Eric out in Clearwater with Innovative Flooring. So I've had a little bit of a jumping around at first and then kind of settled in and do my own thing.
Okay. Excuse me. Well, I mean, you worked for your father-in-law, so apparently that's going okay because you still have a wife and he hasn't killed you yet.
Oh, there's been times it's been close, but it's going all right.
Okay. Now is that how you met your wife, or did you know her and he just happened to do flooring, so that's kind of how you landed there?
Oh, no, we met when we were she was 12, I was 13, and just been in love since then, I guess.
For real? Like you guys are like middle school sweethearts?
Oh, absolutely.
Or did you not start dating until later in life? Like now I gotta know.
Oh no, as soon as we started talking, we were addicted. I mean, we started dating. It was great. It still is great.
That's amazing. All right, so now how long have you been married?
Married going on 5 years, and we've been together, I think, 10 or 11 years now.
Okay, congratulations. That's awesome, dude. That's cool. Keep putting in the work. Do the work.
Yeah, that's what it takes.
Oh, all right. Well, okay. So you started off as an apprentice. You were under two different guys. I kind of have a similar story, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So what What were like the pros and cons, like between the different approaches between the two of them?
Well, it was totally different. When I started working with my father-in-law, it was all apartment carpet, the lowest of the lowest rung in flooring, just about. And we were knocking about 300, 400 yards a day, and I was just killing myself, and it was awful. And honestly, I wasn't learning a whole bunch just because the amount of work we were doing, there wasn't a lot of time for him to stop and say, hey, this is why we're doing this. And this, we all kind of had our jobs and had to stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was about a year and a half we worked straight, no days off at all, not even Thanksgiving, Christmas, nothing. So it was Labor Day, and I asked him, I'm like, man, can I have this freaking day off? It's Labor Day of all days. He's like, nope, we got to go to work. So I quit the next day, and I was actually living with him at the time. So I quit the next day, and I moved out to St. Pete and got in with that guy over in Clearwater. And all he did was, middle to high-end hardwoods and laminates, and it was kind of when vinyl plank was first getting really popular.
Mm-hmm.
So we installed a lot of hardwood laminate, and it was all higher-end work. It wasn't nasty apartments and crappy houses. It was something you could be proud of doing. So that's why I kind of excelled working with him, because there was pride in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so you're throwing in, I mean, I don't do yards very well. Okay, so 300 to 400 yards a day is going to be 27 to 3,600. So you're doing like 3,000 square feet of carpet a day, which is probably like, I don't know, 3 good sized apartments, I guess. If they're your standard,
it'd be 3-4 apartments.
Yeah. So how many people were doing that though? Because if everyone has their job, like I got to assume like one guy's got to be doing cuts, one guy's got to be like stretching it in, one guy's seaming it, and then like some guys like cutting edges and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. We had Jim, which is my father-in-law, Jim Stewart. He'd be down there making all the cuts. Me and Roger was the other guy, and he'd been working with Jim for like 20 years. And we'd bring the cuts up. He'd come up once they were all up and seam them up. And Roger'd start. We didn't. Don't kill me for saying this, but we didn't use a power stretcher because it was just get her done.
Oh yeah.
But they weren't paying for a power stretcher. So he'd get in there and kick it all in, and at first I'd be scrapping it all out, and then once I learned a little bit more, I'd go in there and crease, cut, and tuck all of it, and just get it finished up. But working with him, I never got to really work any seams or anything. It wasn't until later on, after I stopped working with Innovative Flooring, that I went back to work with him as kind of a partner, and he taught me a little bit more about carpet then, as far as seaming and stretching goes.
Was that a fight? Was it a battle to get him to teach it to you, or was he more willing because you learned more about other stuff?
Well, I had found a pretty sweet gig doing rental houses, and the workload wasn't as much. So it was a lot easier for us to just get one-on-one time and for him to kind of teach me the stuff instead of, hurry up, get it done. We can't be here past 5 kind of thing.
Okay. And now you're somewhat on your own, but you have a paying gig as well, correct?
Yeah. So I've been on my own as far as subcontracting goes. Say it was probably 2016 that I really started doing all my own shop work and stuff, not really partnering up with anybody.
Okay.
And up until 3 months ago, it was going good. January this year, I actually decided not to work for any shops, and it was going great. Really didn't have any hiccups, any problems. A couple slow days, slow weeks. Mm-hmm. Then my buddy Dave Moore with the Floor Source passed away, and his wife reached out to me, and I kind of thought I owed it to him because he was somewhat of a mentor to me to kind of go and help out and help fill the role a little bit.
Okay. So you're doing that. You still got your thing on the side if you need to, and then you'll pick that back up. Yeah,
as soon as they get rolling again and don't need me, then I'll be back out and doing my thing. I'm unfortunately right now, this is actually my first day off in first weekend in 2 months because I've been working at a lawyer's office nights and weekends. So, yeah, it's been rough the last couple months, that's for sure.
Well, you just got to make sure you get the lawyer's office done. If there's anybody that's going to give you trouble, it's the guy that knows how it all works.
Oh, exactly. And I'll tell you what, he has to be the most respectful client I've ever had. It's been a joy working with him.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, the engineers stink and the doctors stink and the lawyers stink, and maybe I just pick them really well, man. Like, I don't know. I think I just get lucky picking them because I think I've only had like one monster client in the 3 years on my own, and it was miscommunication that created the monster, and that's generally what does it, I think. So I don't know, man. It's all the communication, I think, but that's going to get us off track.
Yep.
So if you were fully on your own starting in January, not doing any shops and stuff, was it all you, or did you bring somebody on?
At the beginning of the year, I had a full-time helper, apprentice, and it was going all right, but we didn't really see eye to eye all the time, and I kind of expect a lot out of people, and that's probably one of my so-called shortcomings, and it kind of gets in the way of finding good help.
I'm with you, dude. I want them to be me or better, right? Like, I don't think I'm all that, and then it's like, oh, well, I guess I do more than I think. So that's the main point of our conversation here, right? Is we wanted to get into the nitty gritty on some apprentice stuff, and I know I did one recently that I talked with. He's gonna kill me now because I'm drawing a blank. Over there with Novalis. Why can't I think of his name? Oh, he's gonna kill me. I'm drawing a blank. Oh man, I'm a horrible person. But we sat down, we talked about like hiring apprentices and stuff, and so now you and I want to get into. You wanted to talk about training apprentices, which I think is huge because we have expectations that are way too high a lot of time.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I think that's what really needs to get nailed down is that this is what should be expected. This is what you need to be learning. This is where you need to put your attention. Andy McWilliams, man, I'm such an idiot. Andy's a great guy.
Just remembered.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's get into it, man. So like, what is it that, like you were saying, like, you expect too much. Maybe there was communication stuff. Like, tell me about that experience and what really would have made it better.
So with me, I was kind of the unicorn of helpers, I guess you could say. So I kind of based that for all my helpers, and I've only been able to find a few that have been like that. And I never had a day off. I never asked for a day off. Never didn't show up. I was always there with the tool before they asked, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And, I just find with some helpers now that I've hired a few, they just don't have it. They don't have anything that clicks in their head about what they're supposed to do next. You have to tell them every single thing. And that really gets to me. Especially after, I can see the first few weeks, being a little off. But, after a while, things should start blending. And when they don't, I just kind of gets under my skin and I start booting them fast.
Now, see, in that aspect, I can't blame you. Okay. And I think that is something, right? Like we want, Brad was the golden boy, right? Like I built him up and everybody loved him. Okay. And I've since let him go because he no showed on me. And that was the end of it. But I invested probably a year into him between all of the time spent together, even though like he left for like 3 months. But it never fully clicked with him. Like after a year, same thing all the time. Like this is what we're going to do. Then we do this, then we do this, then we do this. We do it this quickly so that we can move on. And so I think that's huge. Like if they're not starting to pick up a routine after a couple of weeks and you constantly are doing carpet all the time or LVP or hardwood, even some of them, right, they got crossover. It's as much an investment for me as it is for them. And it may be my teaching style. So maybe I'm to blame and we need to stop and we need to ask them, hey, what are the steps? maybe we need to give them the written steps, right? Like we need to come up with standard operating procedures, and we can have everything documented out. Hey man, here's what we're going to do every day. It's the same way. I'm going to follow the same steps. Take these, read them, let me know. Like let's go above and beyond, and let's really make this an effort before we just kick them to the curb. But if they're not getting it and you've done all that stuff, kick them to the curb.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good buddy, and that's one of my biggest problems is probably hiring people that I know, as buddies or acquaintances. And once you get on the job, they can't seem to make that switch in their brain that you're the boss, not their friend.
Yeah.
But like you were saying earlier with, having it all written down and everything, that kind of struck my mind when we were talking about this is, adding a little more structure to the trades as far as, a lot of things are kind of just follow my lead. And if you slow me down, I'm going to yell at you kind of thing instead of, like you said, writing stuff down. And, I guess education past the job site, maybe even in the truck, or on a day off, just sit and talk about things, whatever. There's not much structure to it.
Yeah. I think I wouldn't shut up. Like I was there and I was, if I was told to, the first guy did sand and finish work, so you can't really talk over a big machine, but, excuse me. If we had to drive somewhere together, it's like, okay, so why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Like, I guess that's why I'm hosting this podcast, right? Like I'm inquisitive by nature. Like I just want to talk to people and know the answer behind something. And then even once I went with the second company, I was sitting there driving in the truck with the guy that was training me, John, and I was asking questions left and right. Like I just wouldn't shut up.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? What do we do here? How do you do this? Like, why don't we try this? And I think that's what it takes. I think a lot of the people that are successful in this business, that's what got them there. Is like there was a zeal for it. There's a passion. And so I haven't found that person yet. But if I found that person, boy, I would strap a chain to him and not let him out of my sight.
My biggest problems is I'll find a guy that will show up. There's two things you want to help her. You want them to be good at work and you want them to show up every day. And I can't seem to find one that can do both,
Yeah.
One of my, I consider this guy brother, Chris. We actually started as, he was my helper and I was his boss, but we ended up building a great friendship. And, he was that way. He was the best guy I could even ask for on a job. And I still call on him every now and then, but don't ask him to show up 5 days a week, because you're only getting a couple.
I can't do it, man. No way. Like I had a wife and kids, so that makes it different. But I get it when you're like 21, 22, 23, you live with a couple other people in a place. Like, but even then, like I went to work 5 days a week. I worked nights at UPS and I showed up. I didn't call in. There was other people that did, but I don't get it.
I'll rarely have a day when I miss a schedule, even if it takes work until 9 o'clock, it is what it is.
Yep.
But I guess some people aren't like that, and I had another guy, Josh, and, like you're saying, it just never really clicked with him. And what's weird is I've worked him a few times, hired and fired kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time he was with me, it was great. We were doing, not crazy amounts of work, 500-600 feet LVP a day, 80, 90 yards of carpet, just easy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And doing it for a rental company. And one day I sliced my knee open really bad, so I couldn't really do any carpet. And I had to work in the stretcher and everything just fine. And, then I started kind of boosting his head up, telling him how good he was. And then it all went downhill, So.
Okay. And there's another thing, right? Like we need to compliment him, we need to build him up, but I think there's a way to do it, and everybody's always worried they're gonna run off. And yes, this trade has been plagued by apprentices that have gotten a year and a half of experience, and then I can do it on my own. I don't need you. And some of that
I call them runaway helpers.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I was that guy. I had 2 years experience, and that's what the state required to get licensed, and I was out on my own. Did I know what I was doing fully? No. Do I know what I'm doing fully now? No. But I know more than I did 3 years ago. And sometimes you got to throw yourself in the deep end like that. But there's guys that aren't willing to learn, and that's the difference.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, there's some guys. Like, I guess my biggest realization I have to come to is that not everybody is me.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I have to approach different teaching styles, and take feelings into consideration, which is it's pretty odd. But,
oh yeah, well they're not Gen X, and they're not the greatest generation. They're not.
Yeah, I'm a young buck, 23, but I can stand taking an insult or two. These guys nowadays, I mean, they start crying and throwing temper tantrums almost.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that I think a lot of that's with how people were raised, but I also I don't think the way that the baby boomers and the Gen Xers did it, and demeaning you and telling you you're a POS, and doing the old hey, the trowel's at the bottom of the glue bucket trick, or making you walk around with a rag full of denatured alcohol in your back pocket all day so you get a chemical burn. Like, that stuff's not necessary. Like, we don't have to like haze people and physically harm them, but we do need to properly train, respect, and build up people so that they can succeed. And some of that is going to come in the form of, like you said, you may not be the greatest trainer and teacher. Well, you recognize that. So, and I got the same problem. I fully admit it. I suck at training. But pick up a book. Go listen to an audiobook, listen to this podcast. I don't know what's going to do it for you, but like, if you have a flaw, fix it, because otherwise you're putting yourself in a stuck business position when you are everything in your business. When you're still small, like myself and Seth, and it's you, and you're doing marketing and advertising and installing the floors and doing the bids, and you're wearing 15, 20 different hats, you are the teacher. And if you can't teach, you better learn how, or you're going to be stuck where you're at for a very long time.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, guys are just weird now. It's and you always get a mixed bag. So, like I said, the kind of teaching techniques have to switch up from guy to guy. You got to know couple different styles. I successfully trained two guys that could have went out on their own, but chose different routes.
That Florida drug trade is very tempting, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you about it.
No.
Couldn't tell you about it.
Me neither, but I'm sure it's there still.
Yeah, why? I got one guy that he went out and got a CDL, so he's trucking around the country, and then another guy he decided to do screening enclosures in freaking Florida. Why you would choose that over nice AC working inside, I have no freaking clue. But
I mean, hey, if he's good at it, he's making money. Good for him.
Yeah. It's whatever he wants to do.
Look, I've got I know the owner. Well, actually, I know two owners of property management companies. I could be kept as busy as I wanted doing handyman work. I got no interest in it.
No, absolutely not. I love what I do.
Yeah, it's great. But now I have to hustle twice as hard because I don't have somebody just handing me work every day.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah, even the property management route, I tried going that way, and there's too many people taking a piece of the pie there.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, so let's see. So let's go back a little bit, and we'll do, I just want to touch on making the instructions again, right? Like if we have rules that we're going to install by, you're actually doing yourself a favor in your business because you're taking steps to make your business an actual business instead of it being just this job that you own. Go work for any major corporation, right? Like go be 16 again and go to Target and get a job, and they're going to hand you an employee handbook, and they're going to have you take training videos online on how to use the stuff. Like there's legit policies and procedures in place. Why wouldn't we do the same thing? That's just silly.
Yeah, I can't answer the why question. But I imagine there's so many variables. It'd be hard to write a manual or anything like that, but I could definitely see having just some ground rules to set, like, show up early, look well presented, listen to what I say. If you have something to say, don't say it in front of the customer,
Yeah.
Anything like that.
Correct. I'm not saying it's going to cover everything, right? Like you can never cover every situation, but what are you going to do? The first thing you're going to do, you're going to walk in, you're going to greet the client. Okay. We're going to go over the project. We're going to review what we're going to do. Okay. We're going to take carpet out here. We're going to install this here. We're going to run it this direction. We have to move furniture over here. We're going to pull these toilets. We're going to put them back, right? Like we're going to go over the scope of the project. Then we're going to start. Well, we got to start with removal. Are we saving the base? Yes. Okay. Well, we'll put it over here, right? Like it's the same steps every time. So it's pretty basic. There's just a little bit of change in like, are we saving the base? Or are we throwing it out? Are we removing carpet or are we removing laminate or are we removing wood or is it being subbed out to another company? Like the steps are always going to be there. It's just a fine detail. As long as you know what comes next, you can start predicting. And I think that a lot of guys don't think they're big enough to have to deal with something like that, but it'll make you more efficient, especially if you bring on a new person. Like, here, this is what we do every time because we're tradesmen. We're idiots.
Like you go work for a shop. First thing they're going to do in the morning is send you a work order with, all of that information on there. So, possibly maybe even do a basic work order for the helper, just on the way to work. Hey, look over this. This is what we're doing today. And if you have any questions, ask them now. And if there's anything on the job, let me know.
Correct. Right. It starts with communication. So why, let's start there. And I think we've already made a huge dent in what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Dude, you had a list of stuff. What else you got? I think we've killed that one to death.
Yeah, so we've got that one. If it's not working out with your boss, don't give up on the trade. Just give up on the boss. That's a pretty good one because that's exactly what I did, and that's kind of what allowed me to excel. In between working from one guy to the other, I was looking at all kinds of crazy jobs. Window sales and just stupid crap. And I'm glad I stuck with flooring, but I feel like sometimes it also takes that second, third perspective to really get it through your head on what's going on and learn the difference between, a hack and someone who does it right.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're trained by a hack, and you don't know any other way, then you don't know any other way. Having something to compare it to is really, really crucial.
Correct. I know. I couldn't agree more. There's a huge difference between the first company I worked for and the second company I worked for and going online and finding information from people. There's so much out there. So it may not be a good fit. And that's, I think you're 100% right. Like just because the first guy doesn't work for you, if you actually really love doing the work and you are interested in doing more, go find somebody else to teach you. Don't quit because the guy's an a-hole, and there's a lot of them out there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. The first guy I worked for, I definitely wouldn't call him a hack. He just had to do what he had to do in those situations where, we have that much rug, and that's what they're kind of expecting. And then second situation I got to was, a lot more, I wouldn't say relaxed, but we weren't so crushed for time and an entire truckload full of carpet in there. And, be able to take the time, do it right, level the floor, get everything nice and perfect for the homeowner. And that was another thing. We were working directly for the homeowner, so got a lot more accountability.
Yeah, I'm dealing with a technical issue over here. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I will. Maybe. No. Still there?
Yep, I'm here.
No. Yeah, you're there. Okay. I think I got it. I had my phone keeps modulating, and I had a buzzing in my ears. It's been bad. So I apologize if the first half of this is a little messed up, everybody. I think I've got it worked out. Okay. So yeah, I mean, like you said, you were working for somebody, and it wasn't a great fit, but it was what it was. You got another fit that worked a little better, and then you were able to go back to the other one under a different circumstance, and it appears that it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we still go halves on jobs every now and then, and work together. And I actually find great pleasure in it, even if I'm not making any money. It's nice just to go back with him and work as nostalgic.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And he was an asshole, but that's the kind of training I like. That does me good. Someone yells at me, and that just makes me want to work twice as hard, and prove him wrong.
Yeah, spite's a funny animal sometimes for some people.
Absolutely.
Oh, my son has it, and so do I. So hopefully he keeps telling me, I don't want to do flooring. Flooring's stupid. And I had him out with me the other day, and he was miserable opening up boxes for me. The boxes are 40 pounds, and he had to flip he had to flip them all over because I was working on my buddy's house, and he brought them all in upside down, so they had to be flipped to be opened.
Yeah.
So my 11-year-old's flipping over these 44-pound boxes, cutting them open, and then he's bringing me the flooring in 3 separate stacks because he can't carry the whole box. And he was cutting door jambs in the morning. It was great. He was so mad.
Yeah, we've been laying a lot of the density from Nouvelle, and those 9x60 planks they have, those are heavy. I mean, it's 50-something pounds per box.
Yeah.
It's only 20-something square feet. I mean, it's freaking crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I think the heaviest stuff I did is I delivered some hardwood that was 70 pounds a box or something like that. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, you're not taking 2 of those in.
No, even the homeowner was helping me. He grabbed one. And he was like, I'm going to let you handle this. I was like, that's cool. I understand.
Kind of be nice if you hung around, but I guess not.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. So, yeah, I think don't give up, man. Go. If the first go isn't good, encourage them, hey, it didn't work out with me, but maybe you have somebody that you can recommend them to or point them in the direction of a store you have a relationship. Everybody knows we desperately need people. And so while
Absolutely.
It may not work with you, that doesn't mean that they don't have potential. Now, if they straight up don't have potential, don't torture anybody unless you really, really hate them. But man, karma's a thing. You're gonna bring something bad back on yourself, okay? Don't do that.
Yep. Send them the worst helper you ever have if they ever screwed you over on a job, I guess.
Oh, man. Yeah, that'd be bad. But, hey, look, it just... You can let people go, but give them an opportunity if you can offer it to them. Like I said, it may not just work for you.
Yeah, I mean, personalities clash, and, people don't have the same styles, and, you might work out with somebody else. It's really that simple, and like you said, we need new guys in the trade. We need young guys in the trade,
Yeah, we do.
I've hired a lot of guys that are well into their 30s and 40s. It's like, you're not going to be in this for the long haul. You're just trying to get a check.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get young guys to do it, though. I mean, it's really hard.
Well, I don't think it's attractive enough. I think that it's... Oh, gosh. Look, when you can go on Craigslist and you can find somebody to install your LVP for 90 cents a square foot, why? Who wants to learn that? Why you want to do that, man? There's no... It's a commodity. It's dirty. It's it's hard. Like I can go get an office job and I can make money and I can be clean, and there's
there's a certain stigma with tradesmen too, which I was wanting to get to, like falling into that lifestyle of the tradesman where, you know, you're a slob, you drink a lot, you smoke cigarettes all day, you know, go and buy $10,000 worth of lottery tickets. You know, that kind of stigma that's kind of stuck with the trades really hurting newcomers as well, because, you know, they don't want to be like that.
Well, that's,
you know, we need to make blue collar look better now.
But
especially if we're wanting to get new people in the trade.
Yeah, but that's it, right? Like, make the trade look sexy. You used to be able to be like, you could say you were a plumber and like you were super well respected. Like, oh man, one of my favorite movies is Blow. Okay, so you know you got Johnny Depp and like he's super young and what's his name? Ray Liotta. Is that who plays the dad in that movie? Right? Okay, I think it's Ray Liotta, right? But he plays the dad and he owns this like heating company. And it's like super blue collar, clean, like 50s. And he builds it up and he's got a bunch of crews and the economy becomes bad and he goes back down to nothing. But like, it was like a glamorous time and people respected you if you did a trade. Like you had skills. You probably knew how to run a business with like simple numbers. And now there's just people with skills like driving things into the ground. And I'm sure it's always been that way, but you're not going to attract people if we don't show them that there's opportunities through it.
Yeah, I mean it's like a gold rush. There's no limit on what you can do in the trades, and that's what attracted me to it. But you know, I understand a lot of these guys want to, like you said, have clean hands and all of that now. So.
Oh, but they can't.
Not sure how you attract that crowd.
Well, look, go. That's funny. Go look at go in the tile pages and go find like a post of Chanel working, and she does tile, man. And there's not an ounce of there's not a gram or like a microgram or whatever of thin set on her. She is so clean.
I couldn't do that. That's why I stick away from tile.
But you can be in the trades and you can be clean. You don't have to be dirty, right? Like if you're going to work with a urethane glue, put gloves on. All right. I don't care what people say. Yeah.
I try to stick away from gloves with the wood glue just because you can clean your hands a lot easier than clean gloves off. But
correct.
Just keep your hands out of the glue is the important part.
Correct, but it doesn't always happen, right? Like you get your fingertips in it all the time, and then your fingertips are black because the urethane glue doesn't want to clean off. And look, you can be clean. It's just a matter of what steps do you want to take to be clean.
Absolutely. And I mean, as far as the presentation in general, you know, guys showing up to the job sites with, you know, cut off tees that are all stained up and tore up, holes in their jeans, you know. I mean, just a work vehicle you pull up in, you know, a lot of guys driving busted old vans with 30 years of work orders piled on the dash.
Yeah.
I'm sure we all know a guy like that.
Well, so I started with this when I bought a 2001 Ford Expedition that was just beat up, man. The trans was whacked when I got it. It couldn't even go in reverse. It was stripped out. Like it was bad, but it was missing like whatever they did to it. Somebody rallied this thing through the desert here in Arizona and it was missing the front bumper, and just like, it was just a beater, dude. And I can't believe people hired me pulling up in it, to be honest. Like,
yeah.
You got to start
I always
somewhere.
try to keep a nice rig. I definitely always try and keep a nice rig. Got my truck and trailer wrapped and everything with my company logo. Just got a new F-350, not new to me.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's an older 103, but, you know, I made sure it's nice body, no rust, you know, it's nice and clean. You know, just make sure you're presentable.
Yeah. No, that goes for everybody, right? Like, don't be showing up with your hair not done and you didn't brush your teeth and you haven't showered for the day. Like you said, holes in your jeans. Like, my rule is I want you to wear jeans and I got to have new t-shirts printed up because I'm like cycling through guys trying them out right now, but I think I might have found one. But I was like, look, you need a plain t-shirt. So you need
Yep.
you need jeans in good repair and a plain t-shirt. Like, I don't want you repping somebody else's company. I don't need you showing up in like a $80 t-shirt from some random brand. Like, just go get a plain $5 t-shirt from Wally World and show up in it, and I'm good to go.
Yep. I couldn't agree more.
Let's not have holes in your shoes. And honestly, look, dude, if you need a pair of jeans, ask me. I'm not gonna, like, please, like, if your holes have jeans or your jeans have holes in them, I will buy you a $30 pair of jeans or two so that you can come to work. I'm not gonna sweat it. I'm not gonna take it out of your pay. I'll consider it a uniform,
I had a guy one
and it's
day.
a write-off.
Yep, I had a guy one day, and he we had 2,500 feet of tile to take up. This guy shows up in Crocs.
Nice, genius.
I mean, it's Florida, but Crocs aren't good for every occasion here.
No.
So, we go to Walmart, and I go ahead and just pick him up a pair of shoes, and he has the audacity to complain about the shoes.
Okay, goodbye. I'll see you later. You're done right now. You'd have been done at Crocs with me. You wouldn't even have been offered shoes, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, just some of these guys think they can just show up, and that's good enough.
Oh my gosh.
And that just doesn't cut it.
And then I think you're right? Like, you're talking about there's some addiction issues and things like that associated with tradesmen, and I don't want anyone to fall into those traps, and I think we do need to better represent ourselves. In fact, if you tune in again next week, I'm going to talk with a counselor about addictions and depression. So you're right. So tune in again next week, and you can hear that. But in the meantime, keep listening about how to, like, beat your apprentice so that they fall in line.
Yeah, I mean, I myself struggled with it. Cigarettes in general. I mean, It's crazy. You get on a job site and everybody's smoking them, and I hardly smoked when I started doing flooring, and there was a point where I was smoking 2.5 packs. And
how do you get any work done? Dude, I quit smoking before I started doing floors, but I smoked for over a decade. I've been, when I quit 2015, so it's like a little over 5 years now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's tough, dude. The second guy that I worked with for like 2 years straight smoked, and that was like, there were days driving home in that truck, I was just like, I could really go for a cigarette right now.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, I still smoke, and luckily with this job now, it's helped me not smoke as much because we can't take smoke breaks. So it's absolutely perfect. But then I get in the truck and smoke a half pack on the way home. And
yeah, well, you do what you do. But I think I don't want somebody showing up that stinks. And like, look, I used to smoke. I get it. You don't notice how bad it truly is. And I didn't either then. But let me tell you, you stink. And I don't want that around my homeowners, because most of my homeowners don't smoke. And I don't need you outside every hour trying to get a cigarette in. I don't need you out front smoking. I don't need you forgetting about the cigarette butt out front. I would prefer you don't, but if you're going to, like, you get a certain amount of break time every day, and if you want to go smoke, I'm going to start counting it against your break time, and I think that's a fair exchange.
Oh, absolutely, especially if you don't smoke. I mean, that's just given. That's why I don't smoke on the job now, is because the guy I work with, he doesn't smoke. So, I'm not going to disrespect his time by, pretending I do the same amount of work, and I'm really out there every 30 minutes having a 5-minute break.
Yeah, exactly. So, stay off the monster, in my opinion. Stay off the, don't, all this little stuff, man. Like, oh, I need the energy. Like, I'm horrible. I'm on soda again, and I need to quit. But there was a time, dude, I went like 6 months with no soda. I was sleeping better. I was like, I had more energy during the day. So it's not that you need like the monster to get through the day. You need to get off the monster, and you'll actually have more energy.
Yeah, I mean, I drink a pot of coffee in the morning. I'm definitely addicted to caffeine, but, after the morning time, I know all these guys, every time you stop at a gas station, anytime you get lunch, anything, they straight to the Monsters and Bangs and all that. It's like, that can't be good for you at all.
No, I gave that stuff up young after a run-in of Red Bull and vodka and binge drinking at a very young age. It was, I was like, nah, I'm good on the energy drinks. I don't ever need to do that again.
Yeah, I don't drink anything really carbonated. It just, especially in the morning. I know a lot of guys get up in the morning and get up a big gulp, and like, that'd kill my stomach. Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's the alcohol is something that really needs to kind of be put in check as far as the trades go. I mean, guys drink on the job, drink on the way to the job, on the way home from the job.
Yeah,
drinking is just kind of crazy. I'm not sure if it's the same way around where you are, but I mean, here, if there's a white cargo van going down the road, they got a cooler in the middle full of beer.
I mean, I'm sure it's happening. I worked one of the companies I worked for. There was a tile guy that they knew and had been like, they run into him on jobs here and there. And he carried around the big styrofoam cup with a straw in it, but there wasn't soda, there was beer. And he didn't drive himself to the job anymore. And I can guarantee you that it wasn't because he couldn't drive. It was because he got a DUI and needed somebody to drive him to work. Yeah,
what's funny about that is I wanted to tell you when we first got on this, this is for the guy in the passenger seat. But then I remember, there's guys with DUIs and their helpers are probably driving.
Yeah. And look, I'm not. Seth and I aren't judging you. Okay, that's not what we're saying. Like, if we want this trade to be respectable, we need to change us. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect. Trust me, man. I got plenty of flaws. I got all kinds of things I can work on.
Oh yeah.
But these are like, this is why flooring's a commodity. These are some of the reasons why I think it's not respectable to be a flooring installer. People start naming trades and it's plumber, electrician, framer. Like, flooring installer is not named in a list of trades generally. And I want to be the first one to come to mind. I want people to be like, yeah, that's what you need to go do. Like, you need to go be a flooring installer because they're the very best at what they do, and it's the best trade to be a part of. Like, that's the industry I want to be in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, here in Florida, it's definitely HVAC that holds that one just because of the simple luxury of it. But, well, I guess necessity of it, not really a luxury here.
Well, it's definitely, same in Phoenix, right? Like, there's great money in HVAC. Like, they're hurting right now because it's finally cooling off. But man, when summertime comes around, those guys are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah. It's incredible. And the thing is, when I see the HVAC guys rolling around here, they've got perfectly wrapped trucks. They're all wearing, almost like a mechanic suit. They're all very well represented.
Correct. The other trades, I think, hold themselves to higher standards within the trade. And it's not that, look, that I'm sure there's very sloppy HVAC companies out there, and there's very sloppy electricians and plumbers and all of that. But I'm a flooring contractor, and that's what I'm paying attention to. And I see more sloppiness than other areas, I think. And that's what I want to fix. And it doesn't start, look, I'm not going to fix the dude that's been doing it for 30 years necessarily. No. But like you said, this is for the guy that's riding in the passenger seat with you. And let's get them started off on the right foot, okay? I may be an idiot, but if I can make you less of an idiot than me and you can make the next guy less of an idiot than you, like, we're headed in the right direction. So let's work on that.
Yeah, or else what else are you doing? You should always leave it better for the next guy.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, man. All right, you got there's got to be more. There's something else on there, right?
Oh, let's see. Let's pull this list up here. Pay attention to every detail, which is, I kind of brushed up on that, but especially communication. And I talked about this. I had mentioned, watch the way they're talking to the clients, and you kind of brought up, oh, no, I don't want them to talk to my clients or something like that.
No, I'm okay with them. Like, I don't, man, don't try and answer questions you don't have a firm answer on.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like,
absolutely.
Go tell him to talk to me, or that's, Kyle needs to handle that.
Even
or
if
Seth
you do
needs
have
to
the
handle
answer.
that.
Even if you do have the answer, tell him to talk to me.
No, if I was getting ready to like trust a guy to be like a lead installer, I would want to be able to see that he has that communication down. So I think there's a time and a place. But
yeah.
You do need to pay attention to the little things, right? Like you're going to learn the tools real quick. But if you're going to stand there and watch me when you're new and I'm like tracing out the horseshoe for a door jamb, don't stand there with your phone out, like sending a text message to your girlfriend because it's 9 a.m. and she's wondering when you're going to be home, which is whenever you're home. And she needs to get used to that answer. Like, we try and work 7 to 3 at my company, but some days it's 7 to 3:30, some days it's 7 to 4, some days it's 7 to 2:45 because I just don't want to fill the extra 15 minutes. And we went over 15 minutes the other day. It depends on where you get to. Flooring is definitely I need to get to here to hit quota for the day. And that might take a while. So,
well, and you got customers' furniture, and just all kinds of stuff
correct.
like that. You got to leave their house in a livable state.
But pay attention to what I'm doing. Ask questions. Why are you measuring it that way? How are you measuring it? Like, look at the little stuff because that's going to go way further than knowing that we're taking out the carpet next.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be like a sponge whenever I'd be in the truck with the boss or anything like that. And I mean, even this guy that just passed away, Dave Moore. One of the reasons I worked with him is just because he was so good with customers. I mean, everybody knew him just by his personality. So when he'd get on the phone, I'd go out in the truck and sit with him just to listen to how he interacted, how he spoke, certain words that kind of triggered something in the customer,
Yeah. And that's, everyone's going to have a different thing.
Yeah.
You're going to one guy might be really good technically. You might go work for somebody else and they're just a wordsmith on the phone with sales because they're naturally gifted at that. And you need to be well-rounded. Like, if you want to own your own business, the last thing you are is a flooring installer. The minute you decide to start your own business, you are so many other things.
Yep. Because you're not a flooring installer if you can't do any of the other things.
Yeah, if you can't sell, you're not a flooring installer. If you can't generate leads, you're not going to be a salesman, which means you're not going to be a flooring installer. So you're many, many other things, but that's what Seth is right. Pay attention to those little things. There's so many. If your boss is teaching you properly, you are getting more than a trade education. You should be getting a business education, a trade education. You should be getting personal development, in my opinion. I think that's huge and something that's left out. You have a conversation. What are their goals? Where do they want to go? And even if they tell you in 5 years they don't want to work for you, fine, do it. Help them get to where they want to. Yes. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, that's more or less my goals with all my helpers. I don't want to see them stay and work with me for 10 years. I'd much rather be bidding against them on jobs in 5-10 years.
Well, yeah, if you send them,
I did my job right.
Well, and if you sent them out there prepared to do high quality work, you're raising the bar in your community, which means you should be raising the prices. And everybody's complaint is always, "Oh, I can't bid that in my area. Oh, I can't get that price. Oh, it's dirt low here." Well, good. Put some good help out there. Do something about it. Exactly. And you can't be afraid to lose them. I would love for everybody that I train to stick around and help me grow my company. But look, you're out on your own. Do you really think that's a realistic goal? There's worker bees and there's queen bees. And look, I will keep a worker bee around if they want to be a worker bee for me. But if they're going to turn into a queen bee, I'm going to help them get there so that they can run a quality company with me in my area. And there'll never be competition. There is enough work for everybody.
Yeah, there's no such thing as competition, especially in the big cities and populated areas. There's just no such thing. There's so much work out there, and honestly, it's a shortage of trade guys. So
you just gotta help raise the bar. That's all you're doing. Just help raise the bar for your area.
Yep. Give a shout out to Ken here. You rise by lifting others.
There it is. All right, now I gotta send him the GIF.
You got to send him a check, huh?
No, man, it's not that bad yet. I definitely don't have to send him a check when I mention his name. Don't give him any ideas. What are you doing? No, whenever he gets mentioned and stuff, I gotta send him a GIF, and it's the guy. I think it's from oh man, I don't know. It's from some cop comedy show thing, and like he's like sitting there popping balloons, and it's just to remind him that he needs to keep a small head.
Which was the first talking point. Let the compliments get to your head.
Correct, right? Like build them up, but don't let them. Don't. I don't know. Don't build them up so they think they're better than they are, but don't be an a-hole and talk them down. There's a fine balance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's one I haven't mastered yet, but I'll get there.
Correct. And don't oh man, if they do something well, a thank you, a high five, a good job goes such a long way. Like, don't take them getting their first door jamb made like really well on a cut lightly, right? Like it used to take them 2 tries, and then it took them 1 try, and now it takes them like, or like 1 extra board, and it was 2 extra boards at first, and now they're like the first time they do it right the first time, like, dude, that's cause for a celebration. Like the skills finally clicked. And like, just a good job is going to go a lot further than just being like, all right, we'll stop lollygagging around and get that room finished.
Yep. You made it past the hardest part. Now,
yeah. And I think we overlook some of that stuff. And if you're not going to recognize them for accomplishments, why do I want to work for you?
Yeah, exactly. And what's their incentive to do any better?
Correct. Yep.
There's, especially like a man-to-man kind of thing, there's a certain, certain level of gratitude or whatever you want to call it when, another man tells you you're doing great at something, It's, I'm not trying to let the females out there, but you know what I mean?
Yes. No, I think right. Like your dad would let you like wrench a bolt off the car growing up, and you were like, yeah, man, I feel good. Like he'd be proud of you, right? Like there's a certain sense of accomplishment behind it that goes a long way. So I'm with you.
Yep. Yeah, I guess let me switch to another one. When I first get a helper, I tell them to buy a toolbox, and then as they keep going, because I like to give raises. I do start out pretty low as far as pay goes. $10 an hour or $80 a day because we work 8 hours.
Okay.
And but as soon as they start learning, money keeps coming their way, and as soon as they can afford more, just keep piling tools, because it seems with every tool they buy, it kind of just instills in them a little bit more that they're in the right trade. They're going to get to where they need to go.
So this is where I'm going to 100% disagree with you. And the reason is that if you're doing it properly and they are your employee, which they should be as an apprentice, because they can't be licensed to do work on their own. Yep. And so they shouldn't be getting a 1099. You should be providing everything for them.
Oh, absolutely. Not on the job site, because then they get mixed up and their tools become your tools and all that. And like you said, the legal aspects of it. But, keep it at home.
Well, yeah, and if they want to get involved, and that's fine. And I tell all my guys, I'm like, look, if you don't like the hammer, let me know, and I'll let's get a hammer that feels good to you. Once they've been around,
yeah,
right. I'll buy you tools you like to hold, and we can customize this bucket to you. And I think that's it's same thing, right? I don't necessarily want them to buy their own tools. I don't want to encourage them to leave. I want them around. But let's if they don't like the hammer that's in the bucket currently, man, let's go to Home Depot. You've done good this week. Here's a little bonus. Pick out a hammer you like.
Yeah.
What feels good in your hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I guess it's kind of the same thing, but you're doing it legally with the IRS.
Yeah, well, it's all that, but that's another one of those things, right? Let's stop running these shady, improper business practices, and that's going to help the trades in general. So
yeah, you're right. You are right on that. 100%.
But I'm with you. Like,
Yeah,
find a way to reward them. And I like it, right? Like, get them a toolbox first, and it'll be empty, and you can be like, "Look, dude, this is yours. Like, we're gonna fill this thing up."
Yeah. The more you learn, the more you buy, and eventually you might go out on your own, or you might end up with an empty toolbox at the end of it. We'll see.
I got this toolbox though. Look, Ma, it's empty. Oh.
Yeah. No, you said you didn't agree with the whole talk back thing.
Well, so like, don't be an a-hole, right? Don't run your mouth at me. But if you have a good idea, I'm open to hearing it. Just because I've been doing something for 5 years, and I know there's guys out there, and like we can look at like Rowland, right? And he's been doing things for like 40 years. Doesn't mean that you didn't notice something I've missed that's completely obvious. And maybe you do have a better way, but there's a way to broach it to like say like, hey, can I try something? And maybe it's better, right? You don't need to like, if I tell you to roll the carpet a certain way, like roll the carpet my way until you have it down, and then be like, hey, so can I try rolling it this way and see if I do it faster? And if that works out, then it saves you time and money, right? Now you're offering me a benefit, not trying to tell me you know better than me.
Yeah. I'd say the biggest thing as far as back talk is it's just like the trying to think of an example. Just like the little nitpicky things, I guess, where you tell them to go do something and then they're like, well, I'm going to go do this, No, I told you to do this. This is what I need you to do at this moment.
Yeah.
And honestly, just back talk in general. I'm not saying I don't want to discourage thinking or, coming up with your own ways to do things, but
Yeah.
there's a time and place.
Correct. I think if you get the instruction and you're still learning and you're not there, like if you have to come to me and ask what's next, then you don't really have room to be like, nah, I don't want to do that right now. Like, you're going to do what I tell you to do when I tell you to do it. But go ahead.
Yeah. That's also one of those things where it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
And, the smart alecky attitudes and the quick comments and stuff, just nitpicky stuff. It's not doing any good for anybody on the job site. It's just creating tension where it doesn't need to be.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, and I think on that same side of things, you need to show them that you will do anything that you're telling them to do. Like the new guy started, and we had a nasty dog soiled carpet to pull out. And I guarantee you, man, I was in there cutting it up and bringing it to the truck too.
Yeah. I'm not afraid to get dirty on the job. I'm not going to sit outside and...
I'm not going to tell anybody to do something I'm not willing to do myself, man. If I got to go in that teenager's bathroom and pull his like pee covered toilet, I'm going to go pull it, and I'm going to show you that I'm willing to pull it. And when I tell you to go do it at the next house, you can't say that's disgusting. Why would you have me do that? Because I'm willing to do it myself. So I've done it. Now you can go do it.
Yeah. There's, don't get me wrong. If you have a phone call to make or something like that, don't waste your time tearing up a room of carpet or something like that. Get that taken care of. But, like you said, just try not to act like you're above them, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And they get the grunt work.
Correct.
Like you said, be willing to do it yourself.
I will show you all the grunt work. I'm willing to do it, and then as we progress, I'm going to do less of it. But if it comes time and I need to step up, I ain't gonna hesitate to go do it. I'm not above it. That's where I started. That's where I came from, and I'm not trying to get out of it. I just focus on the thing. Like, your job is to make me money right now. If I'm not able to install flooring, you're not doing your job correctly. So like that's your thing right now, is you need to keep me installing flooring. And so you get rewarded and get to install flooring too. when you get all the nonsense tasks done, all the prep work's done, everything's torn out, the boxes are opened, my cuts are made, and I have this bedroom that I got into a doorway in, and now it's a square. You've earned installing that, as long as when I call you and say, hey man, I'm running out of boxes, you're going to run and get me more boxes.
Yeah.
So there's a respect to it, and I will respect you as much as you respect me. But yeah, I'm going to show you I'm willing to do the nasty stuff, but then I'm going to phase myself out of it, because that's why I brought you on. So I don't have to do it as much.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And, you know, there's times even when they're, I mean, ready to go out on their own and stuff, you'll still have to do all the grunt work. You know, don't halt productivity just because you're waiting on them to do something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, you know, like you said, your goal is so you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
That's the reason you hire a helper.
Exactly. And you said, you know, sometimes you got to take phone calls too. Like I got to get that next project for us, man. You want to get a paycheck next week? I got to take this phone call.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Well, it is getting late, and
oh, you're gonna cut me off? Oh my goodness, this is a first, people.
Well, you know how goodbyes go in the South. It's you say goodbye and then you're there for another 30, 40 minutes talking. So,
all right, what you got?
One of my biggest things that I absolutely hate is guys that are broke by Monday.
Mm-hmm.
That has got to be my biggest pet peeve. And, you know, every day throughout the whole week, they're having it for lunch, for cigarettes, for a drink, you know, for whatever. And I just hate it, because it just feels like a slap in the face. You know, I pay you good, and now you're asking for more.
I'm 100% with you. And I think that goes back to the conversation of tradesmen need better financial education.
Yeah,
because there's guys that get paid on Friday from finishing a project, and they're broke by Monday. So it goes both ways. But oh man,
I was lucky enough to be brought up in a house where, you know, my grandpa was a businessman, my dad was a businessman. I mean, all the way back, and they all taught me the value of a dollar. You know, and some guys just don't get it. They think it's just disposable.
It's not just that. It's that they don't take into account taxes. I'm just going to deal with it when the bill comes, because I'll have money rolling in. Well, maybe you don't. Like, there's bad decisions. But, you know, you get a guy, and I can understand it if it's for like the first week or two while I'm paying you, and maybe you were unemployed for a while. And so,
yeah,
like, before I put you on payroll, I'm going to pay you cash for a while. And if you need to get paid daily at first, like, I'm okay with that. But when I put you on payroll, you're going to get paid every 2 weeks. And you got to be able to make it, dude. Like, I'm not your bank. Like, you can't come to me for withdrawals.
Yep. I can't tell you how many times I've said that, man. I'm not your bank.
And if you want me to start being your bank, like, I'll be a bank. We can play that, man. You don't have to go to the payday loan store. I'll be the payday loan store. I can get you some interest. Like, I'll do it right. So, you want a loan? Sure, man. 15% interest. Let's do it.
Yep.
We'll figure out what those numbers can be legally, and we'll do it to it. But no, I think it's once again, it's if you can't just teach them the trade. There needs to be that business and financial education along with the trade education to make a well-rounded individual and put them out in the world to be successful.
And I really like what you said about the personal development as well. I feel like that's something that's really missing, and not just in the trades, but I mean, even at home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these people grow up and they're, you know, lacking morals, manners, you know, just everything you need to function in society. All they know is go to college, get a job, go to college, get a job.
Yeah.
And, you know, I sit down with all my helpers, you know, sometimes I've let them over for dinner, you know, just hang out after work, you know, go fishing, you know, if there's an early day, and, you know, you just sit and talk, you know, about where you want to be, where do you want to go? How do we get there?
Yeah. I agree. And there's a fine line with that too, though. I know you had that on there. Look, we can be friends, but there's a line. Like, I'm still going to be your boss, and I need you to respect me as such, but we can be friends. And when it's work time, dude, friend mode doesn't exist anymore.
Not at all.
We are there, and like, you can build yourself up maybe to be like, I'm always going to be the boss. So I don't even know if you can be an equal, right? Like, I have to have that like slight edge, but I can respect you and value you still as an employee, and I can respect your opinion. But if I yell at you,
Yeah, you
dude,
can
that
still
doesn't
treat him as a person and be the boss.
Correct. But if we have to get in a disagreement, that's work. And that's that situation that doesn't have to cross over into like you and I getting a beer later.
Yeah, exactly. You know, even if you had a rough day on the job, you know, don't let the drive home be hell,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's a long one.
Correct. Like, let's get over it and move on, man. That was that, and this is now, and we're gonna do what we got to do.
Yeah, and I've had some pretty good luck with that, especially for the fact that I mostly hire old high school buddies. You know, I'm young, so that's who's around. It's, you know, it's not a small town, but
Yeah.
might as well be. So, you know, you kind of stuck with what you can get. But I've been pretty lucky in that aspect of been able to draw that line. Especially with, you know, the best guy I ever had, man. His name was Chris, and he could have been an installer, but like I said, he went to do the screening and closures. But
Mm-hmm.
when we were at work, he'd follow me around like a little puppy dog. I mean, it was the best, you know, and I didn't have to tell him anything. I mean, from the get-go, he caught on to it really fast. You know, he was doing door jam cuts second week, you know, just doing great stuff.
Yeah.
And, but, you know, we'd still have a beer after work. We'd go fishing on early days, and it'd be fun. But, you know, I've had some guys where you just can't do that. You know, you gotta kind of be hard on them, I guess.
Yeah.
Not so friendly.
Correct. And everything's right. Everybody's going to be different. I'm not trying to play favorites. That's not what's going on. It's every relationship's going to be different. And I think you just need to find what works for that person to give them that little extra that they need.
Yeah, that's what's kind of nice about working with, you know, a 2-man crew or even a 3-man crew. Is you can be personable with them.
Yeah. It's when you get into multiple people, like technically a person can only manage like 5 people. In theory is what I've read. But when you
couldn't imagine even doing 5.
when you start growing your company, you have to put yourself in a situation for a while where you're going to be over that, and you're going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people maybe before you can bring somebody else on that can like really help break it down and manage the other half for you. So yeah, I mean, you know, 1 person, 2 person, you being on the floor still, like it's doable. But when you get into having to build all those relationships, now there's a lot of moving parts. And so it's just take everything into consideration, you know, and it's employee.
Yeah, I ran a 3-man crew.
Okay.
And it was fine. Didn't really have any hiccups, but eventually, or not eventually, but sometimes I'd bring on another guy just for hard days and everything. And, you know, just that one guy made such a difference that I'm just running around more or less trying to herd cats.
Yep, I bet.
And, you know, especially when you get somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, you know, you can't really train them with that much going on.
Yeah, no, I'm with
so
you.
I like to keep it small. If there's anything that I need too many guys or anything like that, just sub it out.
Well, and I would say that like if you're trying to build like what I want to build and have multiple crews in a store and things like that, look, once again, these larger companies have employee files for a reason. Okay, you're gonna keep track of attendance in them. You're gonna know their birthday in it. Like, dude, take notes, right? Like, write down his wife's name, his girlfriend's name, what school he went to, who's his best friend. Like, dude, there's no shame in taking notes on your employee so that you can remember important details and build a better relationship with them.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end, we're all one big family.
I would hope so.
Yeah. I mean, it's... and I know you mentioned that you would bring your helper around for dinners with your family and stuff.
Yep.
I like that idea quite a bit.
Yeah, we were
You know, have
doing, yeah, we do Sunday family dinner. And so he was coming over and eating Sunday family dinner. So my dad, my brother came over, my aunt, my cousin came over, and then it's myself, my wife, my 2 kids, and Brad would come. So there's like a decent amount of people in my home, and he was a little out of place at first, but he settled in after a couple of visits, and he was just kind of part of the conversation, hopped in, joined in where he wanted to. He would come over and like play Super Smash Brothers on the Switch with my kid before dinner was around. Like they had a good time. Like it was fun. And I think that's the company dynamic I want. Like I want the like I'm a small family owned company. I want you to be a part of the family. And I don't know that I could do that if I had 50 employees and have them all over for Sunday dinner every week. But I could
just have a big old barbecue.
Well, that's what I'm thinking though, right? Like I could do it like monthly, or maybe I split it up and like half the like 25 people come one week to a barbecue and the other 25 come another week. And like, I don't know, I'll figure something out, but I think there's ways to like have fun and give back to people and build the loyalty and camaraderie.
Yeah. And that's a big thing, is the camaraderie. I'm thinking January, whenever, whatever's going on settles down. I don't want to bring that into your podcast, but, I plan on getting on all these Facebook groups and around my area, only Plant City, because we have a bunch of surrounding cities that kind of get lumped in.
Okay.
And find all the contractors and have them all over for a big barbecue.
I love it.
Just to build relationships. And,
Yep.
I mean, I'm not saying have every electrician in town so they can all fight over whose scraps were left where, but
no, but you can start working your way through them, right? And like meeting the ones that you want to build a relationship with.
Exactly. And like you said, have a bit of camaraderie in there and make it like a family.
Love it. I love it. All right, we're gonna stop there, and now I'm gonna cut us off. But it's not because I want to, that's for sure. All right. So I love the conversation. I think there's a lot of nuggets in there, whether you are the guy doing the training or the guy being trained. And I hope guys and gals that own the company, this podcast is perfect for your apprentices. Like this is the stuff that they should be learning and getting in on. And obviously this is geared more for them than you, but there's tons of stuff on both sides. So Seth, thank you for bringing it to my attention. Thank you for participating in the conversation. I think I probably talked too much and I need to shut up more, but a couple people let me know they usually do. So if anybody wants
to, the pleasure was mine.
Oh, thank you. It's definitely all mine that anybody puts up with my crazy idea of let's interview floor guys. And then you all listen, which is even more amazing. Like it still blows my mind. Oh man, like 2,000 times or more a month, people are listening to me babble on and other floor people babble on. So, and it keeps growing. If anybody wants to reach out to you, where can they find you?
Oh, they can find me on Facebook, SNF Flooring. You can find my phone number there if you really want to reach out to me, or on my personal page, which you'll find that on FIA.
All right. I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much again for joining me. It's late on a Saturday night, so go spend some time with your wife. That's probably a good idea.
Yep, that's the plan. Got work tomorrow, so.
All right, man.
That's the plan.
I'll chat with you soon. Thank you.
All right. Have a great night.
You too. Bye. That's all the time we have for this week. To keep the conversation going, head on over to the Floor Academy Facebook group. Be sure to subscribe so you can hear each and every episode. We can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and most major podcast directories. Don't forget to leave a review and let us know what you think about the show. If you would like to be a guest, have questions or feedback, you can email us at flooracademypodcast@gmail.com. You can help support the show by becoming a patron over at www.patreon.com/flooracademy. Floor Academy. Remember to learn while you earn.